All right, so the phone stuff's wrapped up. Let's talk about the mower, the 60-inch mower deck that I got for the Massey. So in this video, I'm going to give you just a very quick overview of how much I paid, why I bought it, what I'm going to do with it, and I'll show you a little bit about the controls and the weight. I weighed it, and that's about it for this video. There'll be more videos, but I'm just going to jump right in and cover that and keep this one as short as possible. Okay, so why did I buy this instead of just sticking with the Cub Cadet LT 1018? Well, I'll tell you why. Because I think this is going to do a lot better mowing leaves in the fall, and because it's going to take a larger, obviously, swath of grass and take less time if I want to do just kind of quick touch-ups. Now, the downside, I think, of this mower deck, and I'll show you some video of the property, is that it's not going to be quite as easy to cut in around the house, like around the pool fence, both in the front and sort of in the back, mostly in the front corner, and then up around the parking area too. But I do have a lot of large open areas, right, that I'm going to be able to cover with this mower, even if I'm just mowing grass and not leaves. So I weighed this thing without the chute on, and it came in at 254 pounds. The chute is about 17 pounds added to that. And then the hardware that holds it on the front is about another 15 pounds. So, you know, you're looking at a solid 280 plus pounds on this mower with the deck mounted. And I'll show you a steel measurement here too. It's pretty thick steel on this thing as well. So very well built, very solid mower. I did have a slight problem getting the hook pin in the front of the mower, and I'll show you that here too. I had to grind that hole out a little bit. I thought at first was just paint, but it was actually more than paint. It was a lot more than paint. I had to take the Dremel and just go in and around that hole and grind it out a little bit. So how much did I pay for this thing? Well, so this started with a couple videos ago. I talked about maybe getting a mower, and a viewer said, hey, I've got one. And so we sort of went back and forth, and thank you, Dan. We met up, just transferred truck to truck. It was piece of cake. It was really hot that day. And Dan gave me a great deal. $1,650 is what I paid. And you can see in the videos here, I mean, the deck is in really good shape. It's practically brand new. You know, he really clearly took very good care of this thing. So I'm very, grateful to have found, someone local who gave me a good deal. Now, what are these things selling for? I've seen them posted for high prices, but I've never seen them sell for high prices. So I've seen them posted for $2,500, $2,800. That's US dollars. But very often they're listed for weeks and weeks, months and months, and they're marked down normally to like the $2,000, $1,800 range. Some of them that are in heavily used condition are closer down in the 1,000 range, and I'll show you some screenshots kind of as I'm going through here. Some of them even under 1,000. Actually, the 800 one might have been a 54-inch deck, but you get the idea. No one's paying $3,000 for these standalone. I think really what they're doing is paying $3,000 bundled in with the payment for their tractor, more likely than not. And that's probably a big reason that the new price is as high as it is. So I'm primarily going to use this for leaf cleanup, but we'll do it for some summertime mowing as well. But let's just talk about the controls a little bit. I'll cut here now to videos showing you the controls of putting this thing down. So there's a lot of talk online about what the controls do. So you've got the 3-point drop lock, and you've got the mower height lock. So here's what those two knobs do. The speed control knob that has the little lock on it, that locks everything. That locks the rear 3-point and the mid-mount mower in the up position. Now, there might be some bleed down over time, but essentially it locks it, right? It also controls the speed of drop, not the speed of lift. And hopefully I'm showing you a video right now that shows you that. Now on the height control knob, there's a lock there as well. What that does is if you're using the 3-point rear up and down and you want to lock the mower deck in the up position, you can essentially do that. Now it doesn't lock all the way up, but it does lock most of the way up. And then you've got your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 positions from there. So hopefully I just showed you all that. Now, the other thing is there's debate online about whether you should be using that height control knob to adjust the mowing height or the gauge wheels. Well, the manual says the gauge wheels are the controlling factor in height, and they should be riding on the ground when you're cutting. Now, it does say you can use the height knob to adjust your mowing height, but the gauge wheels are really the way to go. I'd like to see some comments on that before I get into acting like I'm the expert in height control in this. I haven't even, really mowed with this yet. I'd like to get some comments on what everyone else is doing with their mid-mount mower as far as controlling the height of the cut. Now, conveniently, I did check the Cub Cadet. It's got a setting for low, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, and H. So that's not linear as in inches, but coincidentally, 2 is about 2 inches on the Cub Cadet. So I can equate that to the YD setting on the Massey 60-inch, and I'll show you that here in the manual so you have an idea of what that means as far as pin location. And I'll talk a little bit more about moving those pins around in a later video. Okay, so last up, I just want to talk about mounting this thing. I'll show that in another video. It was a piece of cake. Getting that PTO shaft on was a piece of cake. Of course, I've never used the PTO shaft, so everything was very well, it was covered for years, right? So everything was very well lubricated. I did see a post online that said that the retail rim skid plate had to be shaved, grinded down in order to make it so that the PTO shaft doesn't hit it when you lift all the way up. I have not found that to be the case. And what they're talking about, and I'll cut to a video here, I think he's just talking about this bolt sort of sticking out and almost hitting the shaft. Now, I do see where that could be a problem because the manual says that in the high position, this thing should be 5.9 inches off the ground. Mine is not 5.9 inches off the ground. Mine is about an inch lower than that, and that's probably why it's not hitting. And honestly, I'm going to keep it there because I don't want to mess with that bolt and grind it down or do anything there. So that's another thing. If you've got the retail rim skid plate and you've had trouble with the bolt or the skid plate itself hitting the PTO shaft, let me know in the comments. I'd like to hear about that. All right, so that's all I've got for this video. I will be doing videos, obviously, in the fall, probably even prior to the fall, on the new mower. And I look forward to the comments and the dialogue and learning this with you as I go along. You might see that mirror there. I got some side mirrors as well. I'll post the link in the description for those, but they're pretty handy as well. They're magnetic mount. All right, well, as always, thanks for watching, and I look forward to the next one. Take care.